I was hungry as a motherfucker in my early 30s when I started working for this British company, and they were like, oh shit, this guy might know what he's talking about. And it was the truth. I was like, most of my productivity, most of my greatest work will happen in my 30s. And guess what? I'm in my early 30s, which means that you have a shitload of time to use my skills, to use my drive, all right? I got fired because I told a coworker that I hated fucking working there because I used to travel too much. And I said, I miss the family. I don't want to be out on the road every fucking day of the week, plane after plane after plane. So I got fired in New York on my way back from New York. While getting on a plane, I got a call and they told me I was fired. But that doesn't matter. That was like the best thing that ever happened to me, because then I am such a stubborn, proud Mexican motherfucker that I said, I am never going to be fired by another fucking human being again in my fucking life. I'll do anything I can to be my own boss. I'm not going to be dependent on another human on whether I should feed my family, whether I can feed my family or not. So it was that day, man. I said, look, nobody's going to fucking fire me anymore. And that's the only job I've ever gotten fired from. All right. And it was an interesting job because there was only one representative for the U.S. market. There was no coworkers. I didn't have any coworkers. The whole company was in England. Like, I used to fly to England to the headquarters, and I'll be over here. I'd be working from here. It'd be day, it'd be night over there. So that's crazy, man. For me to land that job, I was pretty proud of myself. I'm like, oh shit, they needed a U.S. representative. I'm like, I'm fucking Mexican. How did they go and get a Mexican to represent the U.S., which was kind of weird. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not even from here. And I'm representing the U.S. for the British. It was incredible, man. But anywho, when they fired me, I felt like they had fired my family, man. I felt like they had fired my kids, my 9-year-old, my 13-year-old. I felt like they had fired my wife. I felt like they had fired my mom, my dad. It was fucking depressing to know that another human had control over my family. It was so depressing that now, because this human decided, my family wasn't going to eat anymore. And so my first instinct was, go find another human so my family can eat. And I said, you know what? Fuck that shit. Like, if this other dude, whatever the hell this other dude gets tired of my ass, he's just going to fire me again. Sooner or later, we all get fired from something. We get tired of it. So this was the weirdest decision I ever did. I sold my dog. That was the weirdest. When I got back from getting fired, I was like, all right, well, I don't want to work for anyone anymore because I'm gonna get fired again, because I obviously don't like doing things. Something's happening, you know. So the first thing I do, I sell my dog, man. I had just bought a brand new 8-week-old, tiny, cute, wrinkly English bulldog for $1,300 from a dude in Mexico that brought it or some shit. I found him on the internet. And when he showed up to give me my bulldog that previous week, when I got it, he had a cage. He had like fucking 20 of them in that cage. He was a horrible guy, man. But I was like, all right, well, $1,300, I'll take it. So when I got back that weekend, I sold that bulldog for $2,300. I'm like, dude, we can't afford this dog anymore. I'm like, we gotta sell this shit, get a little bit of money back, and see what the hell we're gonna do, because I don't have a job anymore. Sure as hell didn't have savings. You don't save. Even if you make $80,000, it's so fucking hard to save. If you're making $100,000, it's so fucking hard to save. One thing is to make $100,000, another thing is to have $100,000. So in order for you to save $100,000, you need to make $200,000. And even at that point, you'll probably save $50,000. So I sold that dog from $1,300 to $2,300 when I got back. I put it on Craigslist. And I was like, I don't think this might work. I put it on Craigslist, took some pictures. Boom. 30 minutes later, the dog was sold for $2,300. I had made $1,000 in one day. And my mind of an entrepreneur, I was like, $1,000 in one day. Oh shit. What if I do that twice? Like, what if I sell two? I sold this motherfucker in 30 minutes. That means that in an hour, I'm gonna sell two and make $2,000 free and clear. Fucking wholesaling dogs. I didn't even know it. So I called my guy up. Hey, man, one of my relatives wants another one, man. Can you bring me another one? 1,300? Cool, let's go. So I grabbed the 2,300, gave the 1,300, got another one. I had 1,000 profit. And so then I sold that other one again. Like within an hour, I got a call. Somebody showed up. Dog was fucking playing around, looking all cute. So I made another $1,000 next week when the guy came back. So then I was sitting there. I was like, holy shit, I just made another 1,000. So that's 3,000 I've made. 2,000. So then I called the guy up. Hey, man, can I buy 3 from you? And I bought 3 that same day. He had his little cage. I met him at the Circle K. I got 3 and I sold another 3 that same day. Nice assignment for a dog, man, I'm telling you. So I sold 3 of that day, and so I made 3,000 that Friday when he came back. I called him up Saturday and I said, hey, man, can I get whatever you have left? Sell me 5. So I got the fucking 5 dogs. And I sold them all by Sunday. I sold 5 English Bulldogs that weekend. I made 5,000 plus the 3. I made $8,000 that weekend. That's what I used to make in my old job the whole month. I made what I made in the whole month in a weekend selling dogs. And I was like, and I was hanging out with puppies and shit. The house was fucking filled with puppies running around and shit, all cute. I'm like, this sounds like a good fucking business to me. Hang out with fucking puppies all day. The kids love them, running or chasing them around the house. Why the fuck? I made $8,000 selling puppies in one weekend. Why the fuck would I not do this instead of that? And that was like 8 times 4 weekends. I'm like, I don't even know how I don't even know how fucking much that is, but I'm sure it's more than a lot. I'm like, I've never counted that much in thousands, shit. But it's more than 8, goddammit. It's more than 16. It's more than probably 24. I'm gonna fucking do this shit right here. So I called the guy up and I was like, hey man, all right, this is what you're gonna do. You're able to get these somehow because you're Mexican. And so I'm able to get rid of them quickly because I'm in sales and shit. So we're gonna do this. Can you bring me 5 of these next weekend? And if I sell them, you bring me another 5 the other weekend. Tax-free, baby. And we just keep going like that. Are you able to hook me up like that? He's like, if you get those 5, I'll sell them to you for $1,100. I was like, what? $1,100? $200 discount. Shit. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm not gonna make more. I'm gonna sell them for less because everybody was selling for $2,200, $2,300. I'm gonna be the guy that sells them for $1,900. Uber these motherfuckers. Control the fucking dog market. I was fucking scheming and planning, and so immediately I created an Instagram page and I started getting known. Boom, referrals. That's the guy, go get your guy. Next thing you know, I was selling to the Cardinals, I was selling to the Phoenix Suns, I was selling to the cheerleaders, I was selling to veterinarians, I was selling to lawyers, I was selling to fucking doctors. 2 years later, I was the biggest English Bulldog wholesaler in Arizona. I don't know, maybe the country. I was selling about 300 fucking dogs per year. 300 dogs per year. Divide that by 12 months, about 30 dogs per month. Shit got real quick. I was making like $20,000 a month, easy. $25,000 a month. I was like, I'm gonna do this shit forever. This is fucking awesome. But then shit went down like in every fucking movie. Like in every fucking movie, some shit has to go down. And the dude that was bringing the dogs, he wasn't treating them right. And they would get fucking sick, man. They would show up and they'd get fucking sick. They had parvo sometimes. Shit was getting crazy. When you do those numbers, like, you get a lot of bullshit, man. And it came to a point where I had people outside my door with their fucking dead dog and shit, crying like my dog fucking died. I had parvo, man. You sold me a sick dog, man. This one lady called the fucking news on me, man. Channel 10. Channel 10, they call the fucking news. the news called me, hey, this lady's saying you sold her a sick dog. We're gonna run this fucking story with or without your permission. We're gonna say the truth. You sold her a fucking sick dog. I was like, God damn it. She said you don't want to give her a refund. I'm like, dude, I'll give her a fucking refund. Why the fuck not? Yeah, the dog, I mean, she probably killed it on her own. But yeah, I'll give her a fucking refund. It wasn't dead when I fucking gave it to her. They ran the story, man. I came out on Channel 10. I still have the link. I'll post it here for laughs and giggles. I was like, God damn it. Fuck. I was trying to keep on the DL, you know. Then all of a sudden, my whole family saw me on the news. This dog seller. This dog selling sick dogs. That son of a bitch. I'm like, I gave her fucking money back, and plus she got it sick. Here's my dad right here. My dad show up. There's father. Here, let me wave. Hello. Hello, father. So I came up on the fucking news again. Right? So I gave her that lady a refund. They're like, at the end of the fucking segment, they were like, and this guy, Angel, he goes by the name of Angel, he ended up giving her money back, which she did the right thing. And she kept the fucking dog. I'm like, you mean to tell me the motherfucker didn't die? So the lady kept the dog, and then it didn't even die. And she got her money back. It got some shit that is very bad. So I was like, fuck this, man. I'm tired of this. But I still kept on doing it. So it happened again. Somebody's dog died. They were at the vet. They were crying. And then I kept on doing it. I'm like, well, it's part of the business, right? Dogs die. So I gave them their money back. And then another dog, they brought me a dog. I'm like, I'm going to take this motherfucker to Mexico. Maybe they can fix it over there for cheaper. Anybody that owns dogs, they know. Every time you go to the vet, they will fuck you for $2,000, $3,000, man. The vet's not easy. It's not cheap. So I started going to Mexico, taking these 6 dogs over the border, trying to get them fixed over there. Some will get fixed. I'll bring them back to their families. Most would die. And I would say, hey, man, your dog died. And people would start crying. And it was so emotional for people. And I was like, dude, I can't fucking keep doing this. It came to a point where Rodrigo and me were going over the border to take sick dogs that were dying to try to get them fixed over there at the vet because it was cheaper. But then they will fucking die over there too. And it was like back and forth every fucking week. Rodrigo and me would go across the border, try to save a dog's life at a vet over there. And Rodrigo was a realtor, and he's like, hey, man, God damn it, some shit's gonna go down. Immigration would know me. Hey, you again? I know what the fuck you're doing. You're lucky we have bigger fucking fish to fry, or else I fucking say something, you know? So it was getting to the point where I was like, God damn it, I don't want to be this guy. But how do I jump to something else? Rodrigo's a realtor. He's like, dude, get your real estate license, man. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. And he's like, dude, if you sell one deal and you make $8,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month from one deal, like, you can pay your bills with $6,000 a month. I'm like, fuck yeah, I can. And I'll have a couple of G's left. Yeah, but then you won't have to be on the news. You won't have to be taking sick-ass dogs over the border. You won't have, like, if I get in trouble because of you, they're going to take my residence away. Because Rodrigo's a resident, right? He's too lazy to become a citizen. So I was like, God damn it, I'm putting everyone at risk. And so I was like, all right, I became a realtor. I helped a guy buy a house. I helped another friend buy a house. And I'm all right, I'm making a little bit of cash. It's taking more than what I'm used to make that cash, but at least I'm not selling dogs anymore. That's cool. So then I'm like, I have to make more, like $8,000, $6,000 every 2-3 months from a deal. I'm like, gosh, man. So then we started going into the radio, nothing came from it. We started going into TV, nothing came from it. And then one of my buddies was like, hey, man, if you have a flip or something, I'll buy it. I'm like, what? So I opened up a little mall spot and I put We Buy Houses outside, not knowing. I just want to get my friend a flip. So then one dude shows up and he's like, hey, man, I have a house in Mesa if you want it. I'm like, you do? Yeah, man, just fucking put your fee on there. And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, put whatever you think you deserve. I'm like, $5,000? Let's go. We sold that flip. We honestly broke even on that fucking flip. Like, I didn't even know what the fucking flip. I didn't even know what shit, man. I'm so lucky to have friends that trusted me back then, man. And to this day, we're still cool with all our friends, but that's how I realized that wholesaling existed. My buddy was like, yeah, just add your fee, blah, blah, we'll close in 7 days, blah, blah. I was like, what? This exists? So then he gave me another one, sold it to another person. We made 10, 15 grand on that one. And I was like, what? And it just started escalating, man. And it came to a point where then I started, looking into research, like, how do I get my own deals? Like, I don't know how to fucking get deals. And then we went on a dry spell where the dude wasn't getting deals. And I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, I'm not even a realtor anymore. I'm not even showing houses. So that's when I started getting my learn on. I started calling people. I started paying for education so I could learn how to use systems, cold callers, Craigslist, for sale by owners. And now we're here 2 years later from when I started this shit. After I quit selling fucking dogs, 2 days before the month ends, we're about to hit $150,000 in one fucking month. Again, for the 6th fucking month in a row. God damn it. I'm not even talking about fucking investments and shit. We're making about $200,000 in investments. Just me by myself. Wholesaling on its own is doing about $150,000. We might hit $500,000 fucking dollars this month in investments, wholesaling, dispo, and bullshit. So I'm telling you guys can become whoever you want to become, man. I used to sell fucking dogs. I was getting chased by TV stations. I was getting chased by every fucking reporter trying to get me. They're like, we know where you live, Ramon. We got your address. Is this your address? Ramon. They wouldn't even call me Angel anymore. They found out, they skip traced my ass when the news was trying to find me. So I'm telling you guys, man, you guys can say it, change your life. That's my journey. Can't make that shit up. It's fucking scary as fuck. But here we are now. No fucking fluff. This is the operations right here. Father, mother. I no longer sell dogs. These are my new monthly goals right here. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit short of the 150. I'm a little bit short. We're only at 121. So there you go. That's my story, G's. Usually don't say it, but you guys could do it too. God damn it! I used to sell fucking dogs to live. You guys could do fucking wholesaling too. All right, we're gonna head out. It's good to chat.